tip 3 is please try to make time for that intimacy. But this is a huge topic and it's something that we need to break down even further. But sex, making time for sex. There is a huge misconception out there that men have a higher sexual need or sexual desire than women. And I can't stand that shit because
what was the stat too they just said about married couples? You said, you're like, that can't be us. I'm like, it's not. Well, it's obviously not us.
I don't
But
remember.
they said like the average married couple 52 times a year.
The average married couple has sex 52 times a year.
It's like,
and I immediately like it.
It's like once a week or something.
Which,
once a week.
Me,
once a week. That'd be once a week.
Does not sound very good. But I know there are a lot of women out there who hear the word sex and they immediately are like, ugh, I just can't. Ugh, like it makes me nauseous. I don't want to deal with it. It's become a chore, and that makes me really sad because sex is one of those beautiful things that can really bring two people together. And, even if it's not necessarily beautiful, even if it's a little bit spicier, it's one of those things that just pulls couples together. You can be in the middle. I mean, that's why there's so many jokes about it.
It doesn't have to be like the romantic or crazy book talk sex. You can just be,
You can just
wake up and have sex.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be planned. And the reason why it becomes a chore, and this is something that I have learned also throughout the years, is, again, the pressures of life, bills, things like that. But also, too, taking that second tip, understanding the knowledge, having knowledge about the things that your partner likes or dislikes. Sex can become a chore, and it happens with people going through maybe IVF or where it's become like a very limited, like we have to do it from this time to this time.
There's going to be times in marriage someone gets sick
Absolutely.
or something happens.
Having a baby.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's a huge thing.
I mean, you were pregnant. You were sick most of your pregnancy.
So sick. I was so sick. Yeah. I don't know. I think I can count probably on both hands how many times we ever had sex. I was so sick. But yeah, there's going to be times in life where you aren't having sex as regularly as normal. But the things that you want to be mindful of, what?
Just your hand. You're always hitting my back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's funny. I just like watching to see how many times I was going to say.
My hands. I talk with my hands. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
All right. I don't know what that was, but let's go.
I'm doing a test.
Yeah. It still works, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. We've been talking so long. But anyways, making time for intimacy. If you aren't making time for intimacy, then you're going to have one or both partners being like, okay, I really am kind of wanting some intimacy with my partner, but I don't want to nag them about it. But then if they drop a hint and they're like, hey, do you want to? And they're like, oh, no, not right now. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm this. I'm frustrated. I'm stressed. And then you put it off. And then the next day they're like, so I kind of was feeling like.
And then also, too, if you're like constantly do that to your partner, like put it off, they eventually won't even ask anymore. Because they don't want to be shut. They don't want to be shut down.
Yeah, it's hard. That's true.
But if you're like, hey, babe, but then no, not right now. Eventually they're gonna stop.
But let's look at the thought process behind. So let's just say it was a man going up to his wife and saying, hey, I was thinking maybe we could, do you want to do this? And they're like, oh no, because let's just paint the picture for you. She's been working all day. She's stressed. She's tired. We're not even going to add kids into the mix right now. She's had a really rough day. Her boss yelled at her for something, and she comes home, and the last thing on her mind is intimacy. The reality to that is, while her mind is very, very focused on the shit going on at work, as it should be, that's any normal human's reaction. If her partner were to take the time and be like, honey, why don't you tell me about your day? And then we'll see how you feel later. If they were to take that time, that would probably just soften those emotions a little bit. And then she would be able to get in tune with that sexual desire inside of her and be like, you know what? I think I am ready. Let's go downstairs, whatever the case may be. And then vice versa. Let's say that the woman is wanting to engage some sexy time, but hubby's just not having it. Boyfriend's just not having it. Fiance is just not having it. I feel like that's such a rare scenario.
No, because, it could happen for real.
Because guys, they can compartmentalize a little bit better sometimes than women can. And I don't mean that negatively.
Not ready, Katie.
Don't rush me, Katie. Yes. But it's true. Y'all can kind of compartmentalize.
Another
women
good thing
do
in marriage,
it.
I get. Did we say this? Movie quotes. If you can quote movies together and you both understand what you're doing, you got a marriage top of the line. Top,
we quote
top
movies
tier.
all the time.
If you quote movie quotes to each other that no one else freaking knows hardly at all. locked in. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I forgot what I was saying. That's what
I've
happens
been
when you interrupt
intimacy.
me.
The dude, he's like, I'm not in the mood.
Yeah. Oh, so what I was going to say is that even though that doesn't, you don't hear stories like that very often, but it can still happen. Same thing. If the wife or the girlfriend or the partner, whoever, was to be like, you know what, tell me about your day, and just let them kind of express themselves, then that is kind of already opening a way to the intimacy route, if that makes sense. But instead, what's happening is neither of them are being very understanding.
Well, again, too, even like I was saying too, like if the partner that doesn't feel as well, if they're just like, no, not today, and they never tell their partner why, like if they told them, okay, just help me get into the mood, but if they're always just constantly like, no, 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 the other partner's going to give up. I promise you, they're going to give up and not ask anymore, and then no one's going to get.
Well, because that's human nature. Yeah. None of us want to get
so
rejected.
They need to like not only. I mean, it could be irritating if they're constantly being asked for sex, but eventually kind of be like, hey, it would help me. Again, the communication. Just help me get in the mood, honey. Just help me get in the mood.
Communication.
That's it.
Well, and I can tell you personally. So like for me, because I mean, there's been plenty of times, because I can tell you, if you take everything else away, like if you take away the stress, if you take away the busy schedules, any sort of financial burden, if you take all that shit away, I'm like fucking Edward and Bella, or who was the vampires that like had sex for 10 years? People couldn't even live within a mile radius of them. Like that is the type of desire that we have. Yeah. And it's intense and it's a lot, but I love it so much. And that's like such a huge key in our relationship, is the time that we have. That's, intimacy times for us. Mm-hmm. And it took us a while, because I'm not going to lie, there was definitely times where you'd be like, well, babe, why don't we just go? And I would be overwhelmed with the kids and, whatever else was going on. And I just wouldn't say, hey, just help me with this task, so that it can free up some time so that I can go take a shower, wind down. I can, feel good about myself. Because that's the other thing too. I don't think men realize.
We're just like, oh, when we're sweaty, got dirt up, let's get in it.
Men don't realize how much our mentality and our sexual drive has to do with us feeling good about ourselves. I don't think you realize how important it was until after I had my tummy tuck.
Oh, yeah.
I was so insecure about my body. And what was crazy was I was so thin. It wasn't about the thinness. I kept trying to make my stomach go back down. And it was a pretty flat stomach, but I had a lot of excess skin there. And I kept trying. I was starving myself to lose this weight. So stupid. It was just skin.
There was no weight.
It was just skin. And I got so bad that like I wouldn't even, I could not allow him to leave the lights on to initiate.
He couldn't even do like certain positions, man.
He couldn't even do certain positions because I was so insecure about how my body looked. Even though he gave me no reason to feel that way. That was just what I had.
And most dudes are like that. Like you think guys are like, most of us are just like, we love our women and
don't let this shit on social media fool you about stretch marks, about having a little bit of a pooch, or having.
If you see guys coming in saying stupid ass comments, most of them are just probably alone or sad and bitter. The majority of guys who are in a relationship and they care about the woman, they don't.
So we're not gonna listen to that. But I do think that men, if there are any men that are listening to this, y'all need to understand that if we do not feel beautiful, it is absolutely going to affect our sex drive. And when I got my tummy tuck, Andrew helped me. It was like night and day. And I felt so much better about myself. And it allowed me to actually sexually express myself to Andrew, which was probably, that was one of the first. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that's why when people ask me about any plastic surgery that I have, they're like, well, was it worth it? Well, for me, it was, because it was affecting my mentality so bad that.
Well, it's again, I could talk about this later. With plastic surgery, people are all the time like, oh, you're doing all this to make yourself fake. Make yourself fake. You're changing. No, she wasn't making herself fake. It's going back to how she was before pregnancy. It's literally, I don't want to say fixing, because that means there's something wrong with you.
And you always made sure to tell me that there was nothing wrong with me.
It's just going back to the way that you feel happy about yourself and you feel okay with yourself.
I also don't think men realize like how hard it is as a woman to have this body going into pregnancy and then seeing everybody, like all you see on social media is stretch marks, the perfect woman, even all of my friends. So when I was expecting Aya and Lila, both of them, I had friends that were pregnant around the same time as me, and they were just they were radiant, and I had stretch marks everywhere, and I just, it was very hard, and especially considering we were so young when we got
was it
pregnant.
yeah, I mean, because
I had the most beautiful skin. It was like the
so
most
to go from like an 18-year-old, like
beautiful
hurtful,
skin, 18 to stretched up, loose, scarred. Like it's a shock to your system. And I mean, as you age, those changes become a little bit more welcome to you. Like now, if I was able to have more kids, I would have loved to, and I would embrace every single scar that came from that. If my belly got saggy again, oh well, it got saggy. You know, I'm at a much better place in my mind to understand those changes mean that you really went through something. When you're 18 years old, when you're in your early 20s, that's a lot more difficult
and let's
to
face
wrap
it,
your
when you're
brain
young, you
around.
still, I mean, we obviously want to look good now, but when you're young, you're like, it's not like I still want to look good. It's like I should look good.
Yes, yes,
It's like
absolutely.
there's something completely wrong. There's not. Again, that's just the way
It's what your brain
society.
tells you. It's what
Yeah,
your mind
yeah,
tells
yeah.
you. And then, you know, I had these people in my life that they were like, oh, you'll bounce right back. You're not going to get any stretch marks. Your mother didn't get any. So you have all of these false expectations. And then you feel like, oh my God, what was wrong with me? What did I do wrong to get all of these stretch marks? Did I not drink enough water? Did I not put on enough shea butter? Like, what was the issue? And then, you know, all of these things are affecting your sex drive. Huh?
I said the shea butter.
Yes. Oh, cocoa butter, all of it. Like I
Cocoa
was
butter
lathering that
I remember
shit
that
on.
smell.
Yeah, I bet
It's a
you
little
do. I bet you
I
do
don't really
remember
like
that
it much
smell.
anymore. It's a little much now.
Because I was like, I gotta put it on. Like I didn't.
It just like the
Yeah.
smell, like the thought of it brought up memories. Anyway,
Yeah, I understand.
so okay, we got a little bit off tangent, but sex,
Yes, well,
intimacy.
it all
What
has
is
to
that?
do with intimacy, and I think just having understanding of your partner when they're not necessarily in the mood, and instead of being
Be-
like, oh, they don't want me, be
Be
like,
like,
what
why
can I do?
Yes,
What can I do to help
because
them
it's
get
not
in the
necessarily
mood?
your partner doesn't want you; they just don't feel in the mood because of themselves or what they're doing. Well, if you could just take it off their mind, they'll be like, all right.
But it
That's it.
absolutely goes
And then
back
the sex will
to
be better than like the forced one where
yes,
they're all like, oh, okay,
finish it.
whatever's going on.
All right, let's wrap it
Yeah.
up. Wrap it up. Okay, this is going on for a minute and 30 seconds. He's normally done in
Yeah.
45 seconds. Wrap it up.
He's like double the time. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah. Wrap it
Okay,
up.
ah!
But the truth is like when we're into it, that's what really gets you guys. Oh, I mean, not every
Yeah.
time, but you know, that can
Yeah, it's gonna take longer if you're just laying there.
Yeah.
If you're into it, we'll be
Yeah.
done like.
I mean, even sometimes when people aren't into it, guys still finish most of the time pretty quick, but it can be so much more meaningful. I would so much rather have a minute severely connected sex
Wrong.
session than a 30-minute where we're both just kind of like
In
not
emotions.
even mentally attached to one another. I would so much rather have a short sex session, a quickie, if you will, where we are hot and heavy and into, like I can breathe your soul.
Yeah.
That's what I want to have. Now, realistically speaking, is it like that every single time?
No,
Well, of
no.
course not. I mean, because really and truthfully, as much as you try to relax your mind, especially as
pretty
a
hard to
woman,
do.
it can be really complicated. So set proper expectations. But then I also think too, and this is something that I think we'll talk about when it comes to like sexual ideas or fantasies or
Mhm.
what's the word when you have like it is like a
Fantasy.
sex
Yeah,
fantasy.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
When you have that, don't keep them from your partner. You have to have some trust that your partner is going to understand.
Unless
And
it's really weird and you want them to wear diapers. You might want to keep that one to yourself.
I mean,
Just
there's
some
there
advice. I don't know.
there
I'm not in your life. I'm just saying.
live your life how
Hey,
you want to.
You do you, boo.
But try to keep that
At least
communication open.
Fill it out a little bit and be like, hey, do you like baby bottles? I don't know.
But
Try
be-
this
but
pacifier
be
real
open.
quick.
And I mean, you know, I don't necessarily think that there's like a normal fantasy versus a non-normal fantasy. I think people are into, you know, kind of what they want to be into. But there are some things that like, you know, you might need to see a therapist for and not necessarily tell your partner. But for the most part, if you have some sort of fantasy, like I had one that I was like, man, I really want to do it on a boat. You know, underneath the stars or whatever the case may be. Not too crazy. It wasn't anything too crazy. But I explained that to Andrew. He'll have these, oh man, I really want to see you in just like a trench coat with nothing on, you know, and we go out and nobody else knows that you're naked under there. Like things like that.
Simple things.
Yeah. And I mean, of course, there's times that they can get a little, but you don't want to keep those things inside. I think having full transparency with your partner is
Don't be like
huge.
so like you should be able to be comfortable with your partner and tell them like, hey, I kind of want.
Yes. Well, and a lot of times too, I think on both sides, male and female, we have all of these hesitations about saying things because of possibly the life that, so like for me, for an example, I have a very hard time coming out and being like, I want this, because I was always made to feel bad for wanting anything. So it's very difficult for me to say, well, I would love it if I could do this, or if you could do this, or can you do this for me, without feeling like a burden. And I'm working on it. I'm getting a little bit better about it, but that's an issue that I think a lot of people struggle with. So if I can do something that's going to help me get past that, absolutely. Why wouldn't I? So for us, that was definitely something that helped us. But it is
it's probably
important
30
tips.
minutes. I said 5 minutes, maybe 10. I don't even know what time we're at. We're going to see.
It's probably at 30 minutes.
Beautiful way to end. They better watch Along Came Polly.
Make it rain.
Well, anyways, thank you guys for joining us. I'm sure you're probably like so tired of hearing my hyena laugh.
Thank you guys. We
will
love
see
you.
you next time. Leave us comments on anything else that you would want to hear or have us talk about.
Have a good night.
Bye, you guys.